Linda Sparkle and I'm reading The Enchanted Wood by Enid Blyton. This is chapter 17, an invitation from Moonface and Silkie. Nobody had really enjoyed their visit to Rocking Land, which had been a mistake. Anyhow, they sat in Moonface's house untying their cushions from their backs and fronts and looking at all the bruises that they'd got. "What shall we do with these cushions?" said Bessie. "Oh, Moonface could do with them, I expect," said Fanny. "He uses such a lot for his slippery slip, don't you, Moonface?" "Oh, yes, they do very well," said Moonface, his big face beaming joyfully. "Some of mine are getting very old and worn. We couldn't possibly give them back to the cross old woman in the Rocking Land, so we might as well put some good use out of them." "Oh, right," said Joe, and he handed Moonface his 2 cushions. Everyone else did the same. Moonface was delighted. He took a jug of lemonade from the cupboard and poured out glasses for every one of them. Then he handed round a tin of sweets. "I don't feel like I ever want to see that land at the top of the faraway tree again," said Joe, as he munched a peculiar toffee sweet that seemed to get bigger in his mouth instead of smaller. "Well, neither do I," said Bessie. "I certainly never will," said Fanny. "It seems as if there were never any lands worth visiting. They are all most uncomfortable." "Except my land," said the saucepanman rather mournfully. "I was always very comfortable there." Joe's sweet was now so big that he couldn't even say a word. Then it suddenly exploded in his mouth and went to nothing and left him feeling most astonished. "Oh dear, did you get a toffee shock?" said Moonface, noticing Joe's very surprised face. "I'm so sorry. Take another sweet." No thank you," said Joe, feeling that 1 toffee shock was quite enough. "I think we better probably be going. It's getting a bit late." What's going to happen to old Saucepanman now that he's lost his land?" they said, picking up yellow cushions ready to slide down the tree. "Oh, well, he'll live with Mr. What's-his-name," said Moonface. "Hello, he's taken a toffee shock by mistake. Watch him, do." They all watched. The saucepanman's toffee shock was getting enormous, and it was about to explode, and it did, and it went to nothing in his mouth. The saucepanman blinked his eyes and looked very astonished that everyone started shouting with laughter. "That was a toffee shock you're eating," said Moonface. "A coffee clock?" said Saucepanman, even more surprised. "Dear me!" "Oh, come on," said Bessie, giggling. "It's time we went. See you another day, Moonface, and goodbye, Saucepanman." She shot off down the slide, round and round, and out of the trapdoor at the bottom. Then the others set off, one after another. "Goodbye," Joe called. "Goodbye." "What pie?" said Saucepanman, leaning down the slide, shouting after him. Joe laughed and laughed on his way down. He shot out of the trapdoor and joined the others. Then they went home giggling over the Saucepanman and the funny things that he said. Mother was astonished to see their bruises. "Whatever have you been doing?" she said. "I shan't let you go out for tea with the saucepanman again if you're going to come home with bruises like that. And how dirty your clothes are. They look as if you've been rolling around all over the ground. I'm afraid you didn't behave well at the saucepanman's house." Joe longed to tell Mother about the Rocking Land and their adventure there, but he felt sure that she would think he was making it all up. So he said nothing and went off to change his dirty clothes. Things did not go very well the next week. Father lost some money one night and Mother couldn't get her washing all done. So that money was very scarce and the children didn't have as much to eat as they would have liked. "If only we had a few hens," said Mother. "They would at least give us eggs to eat and a little goat to give us milk." "And what I want is a new garden spade," said Father. "Oh, mine broke yesterday and I can't get on with the garden. It was very important that we grow as many vegetables as possible, as we can't afford to buy many." The children wished that they had some money to buy their parents what they needed so badly, but they hadn't even a penny. To make things worse, their father was very cross with them for having spoilt their clothes the day that they'd gone off with the saucepanman. "If that's the way that you treat your nice clothes that you have, you will have to stay home and not go out at all," he scolded them. "No more holidays for you until you've shown that you are sorry for such bad behaviour." The children did not like being scolded. They were sorry about their clothes, and Bessie mended them as nicely as she could. 2 weeks went by, and the children had not even had 2 hours to themselves to go and see Moonface. "He'll be wondering what happened to us," said Fanny. Moonface certainly was wondering. He had waited each day and each night to see the children, and he and Silkie wondered what was the matter. "We'll send a barn owl with a note to tell the children to come quickly," said Silkie at last. So she slipped down the faraway tree to the hole where the barn owl lived. She knocked on his door and he pecked it open. He had great big yellow eyes like lanterns. "What is it?" he asked. "Oh, Barney dear, will you take this note to the children of that little cottage over by the wood?" asked Silkie in her sweetest voice. "You're going to go out hunting again tonight, aren't you?" "Oh, yes," said the owl, and he took the note in his great clawed feet. "I'll take it. I'm just going." He slammed the door shut behind him and rose up into the air on a great big, spreading out his wings as silent as the wind. He flew to the children's cottage. They were in bed asleep. Barney sat on the tree outside and screeched loudly. The children woke and jumped. "Whatever is that?" said Bessie. "I don't like it," said Fanny. Joe came into their room. "Did you hear that?" he asked. "Whatever could it be?" The barn owl screeched again. "Hoo-hoo!" He certainly had a dreadful voice. The children jumped. Joe went bravely to the window and looked out. "Is anyone being hurt?" he called. "Who's making that noise?" "Me!" screeched the owl again, and Joe nearly fell out the window with fright. The barn owl spread his soft great wings and flew into the window. He dropped the note on the windowsill, screeched again, and flew off into the night. "It was a barn owl," said Joe. "He's left a note. Quick! Light your candle and let's see what the letter says." They lit the candle and crowded round the note. This is what it said. "Dear Joe, Bessie and Fanny, why don't you come to see us? Are you cross? Please come soon, because there is a wonderful land at the top of the tree now. It is called the Land of Take What You Want. If you want anything, you can usually get it there for nothing. Do come and we'll all go together. Love from Moonface and Silkie." "Oh," said Fanny in excitement. "The Land of Take What You Want? Well, I'd like to take a few hens." "Oh, and I'd like a goat," said Bessie. And I could get a new spade for Father, said Joe. And then he frowned. I'd made up my mind not to go to any more of those strange lands. You simply never know what's going to happen there. We'd better not go. Oh, Joe, said Bessie. Oh, do let's. After all, if there's a nice land, we might as well visit it. Oh, please do let's go. Shh, you'll wake Mother, said Joe. We'll see tomorrow what happens. If we can take some time to ourselves, then we'll go and ask Moonface if the land is really safe to go. Now we'd better go to bed and to sleep. But they didn't go to sleep much. No, they were all wondering what the land of Take What You Want was like, and if you really could go and visit it, if they could get in tomorrow.